So we've seen that we've worked on the single page, and once you've got your entry page up and running,
This video is brought to you by Appy Academy.
then you can add additional pages to your project as needed. So typically if you are making a website, you might want to have more than one page. So it's up to you, and you might want to have them connected within the navigation. You might not need that. And there's various ways to make these connections, as well as there's various levels of pages that you can produce here. So going over to the right hand side, you can create a brand new page, and then you can also create a link to that page from the home page. So let's go ahead and we're going to create another page and just call this one test. There's some advanced options if we want to have a custom path. This is also something that you can edit later on as well. So if you do need that custom path, you can make edits to it as needed. So you see what happens now is that it automatically created the second page to be much within the same theme as the first page. And so now if you go back to the first page and if you update the theme and we go back to pages and go to the second page, you're going to see that the theme got updated there as well. But if you go and if you change the image, so let's go back to the home page, and we set an image here in the background. If we select an image, so I'm going to just do a quick update on that, and then if I go to test, you're going to see we still have our old image. So those images, again, those customizations of the pages don't always overwrite and transcribe, but if you do create new pages and your home page already has an image and default style and setting that's all set up the way that you want it, it's going to duplicate it off of that page. So that's something as well to keep in mind, and that's why I do say that make sure that you create your first page the way that you want your content to be structured, and then from there then plan the additional pages on your site. There's also an option for navigation menu. So you see now that I've created a second page, we've got it within the navigation menu. If I go into the preview, I can easily go through between the different pages. So it gives us a menu, a typical mobile menu. Once we get bigger, it goes back out and extends out to the larger typical menu. So this is all handled by sites, so you don't have to worry about it being compatible with different mobile devices. This is again the nice and neat feature of sites because this handles everything. So going into pages, you can also customize, you can duplicate pages, you can make a page your home page, you can update the properties, you can add subtitles, and you can also hide it from navigation. So if I don't want test showing up within the navigation, I can simply hide that. And if I create another page, and I'll call this one new page, and hit done, then this one is going to show up within the navigation, but test is not going to be within the navigation. But if I go over to test and if I preview it, it's going to have navigation to both of those other pages. So those ones are always staying consistent. And if you don't want something to show up in your navigation, you do have to take an action because the default is to show it within the navigation. So that's something to keep in mind, as well as if you want to link pages under other pages, you can simply drag and drop. So it nests the new page under the test menu, and this is shown to the users as well. So if we go to test, it's going to give us a sub menu, and then this is where we can have additional pages, and this is for the more complex websites where you've got multiple layers of pages within other pages, and you can just drag and drop these paths in. You can also update the properties of the page. So that's one of the options here within the properties. But the easiest way to do this is just to simply drag and drop and present your page content as where you want it to sit within the navigation of your site. So once you've created a number of different pages, and I'm going to actually update my image just to show you what happens now again, that going into my drive, I'm going to select another background image. And sometimes the relationship about how content gets updated can be a little bit confusing. So when we add it to this page, to the home page, it's not by default added to the new pages. But what happens is when we create another new page, so I'll call this one new 2, it takes the content from the home page and it essentially duplicates the structure of the home page. So the other way to do that would be to simply go over to home page and duplicate the page. If you have multiple backgrounds that you're using within your website and you have kind of multiple layouts that you want to use for the pages, I would suggest that you do create these pages as template pages on your root directory, and then wherever you want to use them, you can simply go to the pages menu and hit duplicate page, and this will make an easy way to copy and create new pages if you are using a template that you might want to reuse. So this would be the typical homepage template. And then if I want to create one with this background image, then I can go to here and I can duplicate that page and copy of test. And there's also one other thing that I did want to note. So when we do create the copy of test, it doesn't take the same properties. So if we were to hide from navigation, and then if I duplicate the page, and this will be copy of test 2. It's actually going to create it, and it's not going to take that property where it's hidden from the navigation. So that's something that you always have to do, and you always have to handle manually in order to do that. So once you've created your website and everything looks the way that you want it to look, you're ready to go publish the site. And in order to publish it, really easy. Remember, all of your changes are always changed. So if you do close your browser, you can go over to your sites and open up your Google site as well anytime.